Yo, what is up guys? And today we're going to be talking about the two current banner units that you can see running on your screen here. One featuring the limited summer unit Summer Break Charlotte, which will be running from the 15th of June until the 29th for 2 weeks because she is a limited unit. And we also have the regular banner of Charles, who will be running for a week from the 15th until the 22nd of June. Now we're going to be talking about both of these units as well as their artifacts, mature sunglasses, as well as Justice for All, and if they are worth purchasing from the Powder of Knowledge shop, and if these units are worth using your bookmarks to actually pull for. Now keep in mind we do have Summer Luca coming around the corner probably within a month or so. I'll be releasing a video in the future about that, but it's pretty much confirmed, and we also might have another collab rerun in the near future, especially in like the fall, so you have to be careful about that, and you might want to save your bookmarks, so keep that in mind regardless of what I say. Now, talking about Summer Break Charlotte first, let's actually look at her skills very quickly so you can actually kind of see why she is such a good unit, because she's pretty decent in PvP currently. So if we look at her skills here, the first thing you'll notice is that she has a passive skill enhanced dual attack. This is going to be coming from her S2. Basically her S2 will give her flat critical hit chance increase up to 30%. It'll make her a lot easier to build. Because she is a bruiser unit, you're going to want her to be on high attack, high crit damage, and high crit chance, while also maintaining a decent amount of speed and bulkiness. And having this crit chance built into her kit will actually make her easier to build, which is very, very good. You're also going to see she uses a fighting spirit system. You can see that she's at 60 fighting spirit right now. And you're also going to see that she will be granted enhanced dual attack at the start of battle, and also at the end of every 4 ally turns she'll get enhanced dual attack. Now enhanced dual attack cannot be dispelled, but this can get blocked from like unbuffable and unable to be buffed and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. But basically the way this works is when an ally, except for Summer Break Charlotte, uses their S1, she will actually also dual attack with her S1 in the AoE attack form. Now this is very, very good because of the fact that her S1 can apply defense break and does a lot of damage, and this can actually also see R push herself by 25% as well. This will hit very, very hard. Next, we have her S3, guys. It is costing 80 fighting spirit here, as you can see. You can see that it will cleanse herself of all debuffs and attack the enemy with a stun, and will also give everyone a speed buff, and this penetrates defense by 50%. This does a lot of damage, especially against units that stack a lot of defense. This will be very, very good because that penetration defense will come in handy a lot. But yeah, looking at her kit overall, guys, like she's very, very good for PvP because of the fact that she's a very good bruiser. And also because of the fact that in slower fights, you can actually ramp up very, very quickly with this enhanced dual attack, because the AoE pressure that this provides, especially if it lands that defense break, is very, very annoying. And she's pretty tanky as well because she is a knight. Now for PvE, guys, she's also very good for Fire Expedition as well as some hunts as well. So you definitely can use her in PvE content as well if you're looking for a decent AoE damage dealer for PvE. You can also use her in Raid if you want. Anywhere you need a good AoE damage dealing unit, she's pretty strong as well. Even for like Azimnak, she can be used as well. I've seen some people use her there. Now for her artifact, guys, mature sunglasses. This artifact is very, very good. It's basically like Draco Plate except for knights, so it's very, very good on knights that like to deal a lot of damage, that don't need to rely on Elbrus Ritual Sword. So units like Bellion, Charles, and stuff like that probably won't use this because Elbrus is so good in their kit because of their S1 into extra attack activation. But because Summer Break Charlotte doesn't really want to counterattack that much because of the fact that her S1 will be only a single target attack on counters, you can actually use mature sunglasses on her, and it's very, very good. Probably her best artifact or one of her best. So if you're trying to pull for Summer Break Charlotte and you actually pull for her, you definitely want to make sure you have at least one copy of this because it's very good at increasing her damage as well as making her tankier, which is pretty hard to find in a lot of artifacts that can actually, make you do more damage and make you tankier. Usually those types of artifacts end up being very, very powerful or even borderline like OP. Now Summer Break Charlotte, guys, pretty fun unit to use. I wouldn't say she's super broken anywhere, but she's pretty decent in PvE and also pretty good for PvP as well. So if you're looking for a fun unit to actually use in PvE and PvP, you definitely want to pick up Summer Break Charlotte. She's pretty cool. The thing is, like I said, we do have more summer units coming with a new one in Summer Luluka and maybe a collab, so you might want to save your bookmarks if you're hurting on bookmarks right now. But if you have a lot of Skystones and bookmarks saved up, you cannot go wrong with pulling for her. Even if you do only have enough for one pity, Summer Break Charlotte's a pretty good unit to have because, like I said, she just got buffed, and after her buff, she's pretty decent. Now talking about Charles. So Charles used to be one of the most broken units in the game, and we'll look at why if we look at his kit really quick. But basically, he is a counter-attacking monster on Elbrus Ritual Sword. So looking at his skills really quick, his S3 is an AoE attack that will give everyone on his team an attack buff and also give himself defense buff. And when there are 3 or fewer enemies, this will actually do extra damage, which makes him very good when there are 3 or fewer enemies. So in PvE, this actually does a lot of damage as well, because usually there's only 3 or less enemies on the right side when you're fighting in PvE anyways, unless you're fighting bosses that can spawn adds. And this makes it so that he becomes a very, very good Wave 1 clearer in Banshee 13 one-shot. So if you're looking for a good Banshee 13 one-shot team, Charles is actually the unit that I use. He's one of the best units besides like Vivian, I'd say, but even though Vivian is free to play and you have it right away, she is a little bit harder to build than Charles. So Charles is a very good beginner option for that Banshee 13 Wave 1 one-shot. Now for his S2 and S1, guys, this is what's going to make him super powerful in PvP. Looking at his S1, you're going to see it's a single target attack with a decreased attack chance, and after you use this skill, you have a chance to actually activate Smash as an extra attack, and this chance to activate Smash is doubled when the enemy is buffed. So if you attack a buffed enemy, this can go up to 50%. With your exclusive equipment, it goes even higher, and Smash is going to be a very, very strong attack that dispels all buffs and does a crazy, crazy amount of damage. So basically, you can see if you have him on Elbrus Ritual Sword and counter set, if you actually get unlucky fighting him and he actually lands these counters and can actually proc his S1 into S2, you're in for a lot of trouble. Now, this unit does have a lot of RNG, and even though he was very broken in the past and very fun to use, I don't really think he's that good anymore besides as a Banshee 13 one-shotter like I said. Now for his artifact, guys, Justice for All. This artifact is probably only really going to be used on very fast knights, because at the end of your turn you have a chance to get a random buff, and this is only really good if you have this maxed limit break. Now the best unit that actually uses this will actually be Falconer Clury, who was a super broken unit as well in the past, but now that she's not really that powerful anymore or seen at all in PvP, this artifact isn't really used on a lot of units. You can see this on like a Fire Charlotte maybe, but for the most part you're not going to really see this on too many units anymore, so this is an easy skip. Now overall, I think Charles definitely worth skipping on because of the fact that he's... Now overall, guys, for Charles, I think Charles is definitely a unit you want to skip on. Even though he's good for Banshee 13, for one-shotting the first wave, you can just use a Vivian instead. She just requires a little bit better gear, but she is better as a unit overall. And also Charles is pretty useless in PvP right now because counters are not that great, and also because of the fact that he really relies on RNG, and you need Elbrus Ritual Sword on him, preferably maxed out for him to be decent. And yeah, it's hard to build him because unlike Summer Charlotte, or Summer Break Charlotte, who is a knight as well, that does damage, she has built-in crit chance, so it's actually easier to build her a lot more than Charles, because Charles doesn't get any bonus stats, which I think damage dealing knights really need because of the fact that they need a lot of stats. Especially bruisers, guys, like bruisers that don't get bonus stats from a passive, it's going to be a lot hard to build them, especially if they don't scale with HP. So yeah, that being said, I think for the banners, guys, honestly, if you really need to, you can skip on all of them, especially if you're waiting for Summer Luluka. But the thing is, I think Summer Break Charlotte is a fun unit to use. If you're looking for a fun unit, like I said, and a decent hunt unit and expedition unit, she is a good pull. And if you pull for her, you might want her artifact as well, even though it's not needed, because it's very good on her. Charles and his artifact, guys, I would definitely just recommend skipping. That being said, I hope this video helped you guys out, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.